Hello everybody, welcome to Better Reviews with me, your host Jack, and welcome to my workplace. This is Atom Beers, where I'm now the head brewer, and this is a little video I promised I would do a while back about, I guess, the more industrial side of the brewing process, and show you where I work and what I do for a living, which is kind of cool. So follow me as we walk awkwardly backwards, or perhaps if I turn the screen around we can do it forwards instead. Welcome to the Atom Brew House. We are a 2,000 foot unit in here, but we've got 4,000 foot warehouse space next door too, and this is just a quick walk down of what we've got in. As you can see, I've got a little bar set up for a brewery tour, and my board full of wonderful information about what I'm going to do for the next week. And if I flip it around again, then you can see me. Might as well start down this bottom corner. This here is my mash tun, which is a 10 barrel, it's about 12 barrels really. We fit in about 500 kilos of grain in there alongside the liquor that we need to brew with, which is kind of awesome. And we do all sorts of kind of things in there. We've done double mashes to make some crazy strong beers, and it does the job rather well. It's just a basic mash tun really. Next door to it, over here behind the bar, we have the copper, this fellow here, where we boil the beer up. I can probably show you the inside of that if I open the door and let you have a look inside. But again, this is a 10 barrel boiler, so holds working capacity of about 1,600 litres, maybe slightly more, and does the job quite well too. So we boil up all the beer in there and all hops in for experiments. And then just slightly further down here, we have the cold and the hot liquor tanks. This nice big black plastic bucket is where we take all of our cold water straight from the mains tap, don't you know? And then next door to it, this silver tank is the hot liquor tank, which is where we slightly warm up the liquor to confuse people. Water in the brewing world is called liquor. There's nothing alcoholic about it until we fermented it, but it's just got a big kettle element in there essentially that just heats the water up. So the temperature for brewing with anywhere from somewhere in the mid 70s, sometimes up to 80 degrees. So the temperature in the mash tun is somewhere between 60 and 70 depending on the beers we brew, to be honest. And then the ones that you probably saw on the way in, and these are going to be really hard to show you, but I can probably show you by doing this and then back to me and then doing that and then back to me, and then also showing you that these boys have got cylindrical conical bottoms like so, a nice little cone shape as well. These are our fermenters, and these ones behind me, I'll turn around for this one so you can show you a bit better. So what we've got here are number 1 and number 2 are old girls. These are Kylie and Madonna. Old girls, but they're still beautiful. Oh, how so misogynistic, but they are also flat bottomed. Make of that what you will. And then, as I showed you just then, these are our brand new cylindrical conical fermenters. These are Monique and Unique because they're monochrome, and then we've also got 2 more that have just been delivered very recently down the bottom end as well, which we've yet to come up for names with. So there you go, YouTube, that is for you. You can please name these 2 beautiful fermenters down the bottom. These are the 2 cylindrical conicals named because they're going to get installed really soon. We've also got a very noisy chiller unit which just decided to kick in, which is really annoying when you're trying to do a video. But major difference between cones and between flat bottoms is essentially these cylindrical conicals allow me to do some conditioning inside of these tanks as well. So this has actually got a double batch of our pale ale in at the moment, which is about 3,200-ish litres worth of beer sitting in this very ear tank, which is kind of nice. In fact, I just got a little sample out into one of our glasses of the pale ale just to make sure we're fermenting all the way all right and everything is good with that. It's tasting rather nice. Cough, cough, cough. And this cone bottom allows us to dump off any excess yeast that gets settled after fermentation, and then allows us to cool the tank down to use as a conditioning tank. Because the final area in my brew house is just down this bottom end here. If I open this, is a cold room where I've got some even more tanks even. So as you can see, I've got 8 separate different conditioning tanks in here. All these old oil industry Gundry tanks. This is where we cold condition quite a lot of our beers. Anything with any additional ingredients in at all come into this cold room. And staying here for a long period of time, we tend to condition for way longer than some other breweries do. They can be in here for a good month, sometimes before we think they're 100% ready. We don't fine or filter here, so everything that comes out of our tanks has had time to settle out any yeast or any trouble, and that's the way I like it. Highlights of in the room at the moment are in this silver tank here between the 2 white ones. Blueberry stays on. This one behind me at the back is the latest batch of IPA, but doing a few different kind of fermentation techniques on it to make it cool. And then in this boy here, not that really makes much difference for you to see it, but we've got a mild in there at the moment with some vanilla beans into kind of a vanilla mild, which should be quite cool. And then also right behind me on the back wall is my hop stock. Not so much at the moment because we haven't got as many hops as we would like on our contract, but hey ho, that's the way of the brewing world, to be honest. So that's just a little bit of a whistle-stop tour around my brew house and around what I do. This is just obviously the working floor space. As I said, we've got a warehouse space next door that's double the size of this one, but it's literally just full of cats and kegs, which is near so good really. Not good for a camera at least. But that's us in a nutshell really here, and there's plenty more that we're going to do in the future with the space that we've got, and I'll probably comment that on another video. But to end this one, it's just one simple question really. What would you like to know about the brew house, and what would you like to see? Just comment and tell me. And until the next baby review, everyone, cheers.